Alchemist, you made it to the 52 real estate wealth principles. Hey, you know you want to leave a legacy and build an empire. You know you want to build a business to do that. You know you want a business that solves problems. You know you need money to do this. Well, guess what? As you know, our leader, Walter Amarello, gives us the answers every week here at alchemistnation.com, right? It's time to take notes so we can take the correct actions for happiness and success. All right. In this corner, weighing in at a pain in your neck, your problems. And in this corner, weighing in at having the answer for your financial fortune, creating income. So let's get ready for money. The man, the myth, the legend that builds millionaires, Walter Amarello.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephen. Let's give Stephen Bieber a round of applause. He has been focused on helping people take more vacations. I also noticed Doug McGurk is on the call. Let's give Mitch Jorsky and Michael Shine a round of applause. They've been building millionaires with us for the last 3 years. We've built together over 24 millionaires at the 100 Millionaire Summit this year. They walked across the stage and they got their awards. This has become a reality. So we're going to talk today about Wealth Principle 5 and Wealth Principle 6. But before we do, I just want to remind everybody who's been on this journey with us for the last 4 years. This is season 4. Some of you are brand new. Some of you are just getting into it. But some of you have been here for the last 4 years. So let's give our 4-year seniors a big round of applause. They've been doubling their income, doubling their net worth for an entire 4 years. Some of you have been 3 years, 2 years, and 1 year. We also want to give everybody who's brand new a big round of applause. If you're watching us on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube and you haven't been following along, then I apologize. There's been a lot that you've missed, but don't worry. This is still a good time to jump in. Hence the camera if you'd like to double your income, double your net worth this year. Again, if you're ready to do it one more time. Awesome. So money is not a secret, right? Money is not something that is hidden from us all. We see it every day. Money is in front of our faces, literally every single day. Hence, Cam, if you spent some money within the last 24 hours, it got spent on your freaking Netflix account or Pandora, or you went out and you got your Starbucks or got gas, unless you're in Tesla, in which case your just electric bill just got charged. So we're spending money all the time. We live in an economic economy. If Valentine's Day just came by, you had to go spend some money on your spouse. You had to go and invest some money into the relationship. Hence, Cameron, if you invested money in your spouse, or if you're single, you just bought yourself some candies. Awesome. You know, we all kind of have to spend our money somehow. So this economic system, although it feels like some of the stuff you're learning are secrets, it's been obvious for hundreds and hundreds of years. The big titans of the world understood industry 200 years ago. They understood industry 100 years ago. They have understood industry and principles. All these books that they read are still working today. Hence, can recognize success as a principle-based strategy. Like money and riches, it comes from principles. It's nothing new. It's not this fantastical thing that is a secret. But there's a lot of gurus who say, here are the 3 secrets to success. Hence, can have heard those too. Those secrets. Oh, here are the secrets. Here's the hidden truths. Here's what I'm going to tell you. The truths are right in front of you. They've been in front of you. There are 52 wealth principles. We're going to review 2 of them today. And if you implement the principles, which I'm going to give you an exercise to implement both principles today, then you will be successful. You can use these to double your income every single year. And if you do the math and you want to be a millionaire, just cut the math in half every single year. How many years away are you? If you're not, you go to $1 million, if you got $500,000, you're only 1 year away. If you got $250,000, you're 2 years away. If you got 100,000, you're 3 years away. If you got 50,000, you're 4 years away. Hence, if you recognize, if you got less than 50,000, you're probably 5 years away. No big deal, because anybody can make 50,000 within a year with the right mindset, with the right path, with the right principles. And you just keep doubling every single year. So that being said, Wealth Principle 5, without further ado, is build a business. Now, it may seem like the sort of thing you don't want to do if you've not been around entrepreneurship for a little while, but if you have been, then you already know what I'm going to talk about. There's 5 reasons that you want to build a business. And these reasons, most people subconsciously know and are like, oh my God, my friend got to do this, which is why they make so much money. They're so lucky. Hence, if you recognize, luck has nothing to do with business, except for the people who prepare themselves and perspire the most seem to get the luckiest. So number 1, tax benefits. This is the one, like, I don't have to tell anybody. We know that if you own a business, everything becomes a business expense. Shoot, my gas is a business expense. This office that I'm in right now, in my own house, this section of my house is now a business expense. When I travel to see everybody back in Boston, or when I travel to see people in Vegas, my flight was a business expense. My hotel was a business expense. My ticket, my $20,000 worth of tickets for Grant Cardone, the diamond tickets, were business expenses. Hence, if you recognize, people didn't claim them as business expenses because they're not all smart like us, right? Some of them don't own a business. They just went to see Grant. They're like, oh, I'll follow him on Facebook. But business owners, if you have a business, you get to claim all of this as a tax write-off. Now, tax write-off means you don't pay taxes on that income, which means whatever your tax bracket is could be tremendous savings. So number one, tax benefits. Number two, reason to own a business, to start a business, is massive impact. Here in Alchemist Nation is a perfect example. We're on a mission to build 100 millionaires who are then inspired to build 100 millionaires. And the idea is that this machine will eventually build 1 million millionaires. Now, there's 1 million millionaires built every year anyway, here in the United States. It's already 22 million of us. And it seems like we stack a million across the country, across the world. There's like 44 million millionaires in the world. Hence, Cam, if you recognize, it's not that uncommon to become a millionaire. It's actually pretty easy these days, especially with inflation. So our mission to build 1 million millionaires involves starting with 100, then another 100, then another 100. So it's massive impact that continues to give. What impact would you like your business to do? What's an impact you'd like to see in the world? By the way, this is an exercise. We're going to do this together. All 5 of these steps, you can kind of run with us. So write down right now, real quick, what impact do you think could be changed in the world? You don't have to know the monetization, how to make money from it. Just write down what injustice or what problem or what pain is in the world right now that you think could be replaced, that could be fixed. Or even if you don't know or think it could, like, what do you want to be fixed? Number three, providing access to cash flow. Who here has thought of starting a business just to have more money, right? Who's thought, hey, I would like more money. It's not the number one reason to start a business. Number one reason really is tax benefits. Number two reason really is impact in the world. And number three would be cash flow. Because yes, a business does provide cash flow. And right now in this market, businesses provide better cash flow than some of my other assets. My lending business provides far more cash flow than my real estate business. My CRM, my technology businesses, my SaaS, software as a service, provides more cash flow than any of the other businesses for return on investment, how much money was put in to how much money is coming out. Number four, selling the business, right? So when you sell the business, you sell a very high value, like expensive asset. Some businesses sell for $600,000. Some sell for $6 billion. I remember Instagram, when Instagram sold for $1.4 billion, my jaw dropped. There was only 14 people in the company. And I thought, I'm doing something wrong. I'm focused on making money from the business. I'm focused on the cash flow from the business, when these guys were just focused on sell the business, build the business to sell the business and get rich. Hence, can't recognize, nobody took money home. Nobody made money until they sold the business. Everybody worked for free. 14 people working on stock options, just hustling, building and grinding, hoping that one day this thing will be worth something. So the number four is sell the business. And then number five is take the company public. Take the company public. Number five reason to build a business and to get ultimately the richest you can is to take a company public. One of the strategies that you see every single one of the billionaires do is they take their company public. Hence, Cameron, if you can name 5 billionaires who have publicly traded companies. Hence, Cameron, if you could probably name 10 if you thought about it, right? You can just think of the company and then find the owner, and it's publicly traded. The reason they take a company public is to juice the value of their shares and the ultimate value of their net worth, and also the ability to expand and grow their impact, their tax benefits, their cash flow, and their access to be able to sell the business. So you can sell pieces of the business much easier when you take it public. Hence, Cam, if you recognize we got to build a business, every one of you needs a business. Every one of you needs to benefit from owning a business. Excellent. Awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause. That's principle number 5, build a business. Principle number 6 is your business must solve a problem. A business for the sake of a business is just a hobby, right? It's just, okay, you're making money, but it really won't be successful unless there's a problem, a fundamental problem in the marketplace that you're solving. And so your business must solve a problem, right? Hence, if you understand, business got to solve a problem. I see Carl's like, we got to solve the problem. So I want to review one of the biggest problems today. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you what the biggest problem is in the marketplace today that you may find your own solution to solving, a way that you can solve. Number 5. So principle number 6 is your business must solve a problem. So What are problems in the marketplace? What are problems in the marketplace? Think about it if you're in real estate. Hands can if you're in the real estate space. Hands can if you're there. Inventory. There's not enough inventory. There's just not enough. Rents are going up in price, right? So that creates a problem for renters. It's a great problem for us on the owning side. Prices are going up, interest rates are going up. This is causing problems on availability. So funds. So lack of funds. By the way, I'm going to give you 5 challenges small businesses face in the real estate space. Hence, camera, if this is valuable to you. And I'm going to tell you at the end of this, like what the biggest problem that is coming, that it's just so massive that no one individual can solve it. It's going to take a group. It's going to take a large community to be able to solve this one problem. So number one reason that a business or number one reason or challenge a business face is a lack of funds. This can be both in cash flow or initial startup capital. So one of the investments that we've made in Alchemist Connect and Alchemist Nation is we bought Alchemist Financial. We created a company and we rebranded it. And this company can go and finance business owners. It finances business owners and it finances real estate investors. So that is, to me, a solution to a problem, funding, right? So think about in business, what is a solution that you can create for funding? If you see people who are struggling right now in this economy and you got money, there's a good chance you can lend it. And the lending makes a good return on investment. Number 2, lack of time. Lack of time. And here's the other thing. If you work B2B, maybe you can finance some of the services you're providing, or go to a different company and finance some of the services you provide. We run a coaching program. By the way, I want to be very clear. I am not a coach. So I personally am not a coach, but I do run a coaching program because it builds millionaires. And so I have partners who are coaches. I have team members and strategic partners. And so in that business, I run the financing side of it. We lend out when people buy a program, we finance the program. Hence, if you understand, we're still in finance. We're still doing what we do. We're solving the funding issue on the business. So number 2, challenge that entrepreneurs are facing right now is time. Time. So before we go into it, I just want to one more time say, you can finance your clients if they're good clients. There are ways for you to be better than your competition just by helping them with the funding, helping them, find ways to get the money. When I was an agent, I used to spend all my time getting creative financing strategies so that when an investor came to me, they never stopped buying real estate. We could just keep buying real estate because money was no longer an issue. I'd get them seller financing, we get creative financing. I helped them raise private capital. I would go in, I raised $1 million of private capital for my investors because they wanted to close more deals. I just kept going. And then another challenge that they had was a lack of time, right? And this is every business. Every business across the country is suffering from a lack of time. Who here knows that? Who's an entrepreneur who feels that right now? Like your time is just running out. So a business right now or functions of your business that can save people time, that can give them their time back, right? They can give them or leverage them so they can do more in the same amount or shorter period of time is going to be a win. There's a lot of, word and language around AI. AI might not be the thing for you, but I'll tell you why it's working so well is it saves time. It saves time and efficiency. And I'm not saying ChatGPT. What I'm saying is implementation of ChatGPT, not asking it fucking questions, but actually having it answer questions for your clients, like having it actually provide customer service. One of the features we're looking at right now in Alchemist Nation is, can we get ChatGPT to, or OpenAI is really what we're looking at, is can we get it to answer basic wealth principle questions? Can we get it to deliver consistently every single time the right answer to a client? This way, we can kind of speed up the time that they have. They don't need to call a coach. So it saves money and it saves time. Hence, if you understand, this is something you can implement in your business. Maybe some AI that either reaches out to a person and gets a contact or does a little bit of customer service on the back end. Lack of time, systems, anything that will take away work. So one of our challenges in the real estate space is finding deals. Who's found that? We talked about, real estate agents and investors are faced, don't have deals. So can you go off market and do all the research, or can you build a network that provides deals for your investors so your investors don't have to spend all that time and struggle and energy and money to find their own off market properties? This is why the agents and the investors who have access to off market lists, off market properties do so much better than everybody else, because their clients continuously come back to them because they're saving them time. They don't have to go and look for properties. The property's already sitting there. And if you'd love a list of properties just showing up in your inbox, right? Every day, there's more properties, more opportunities. There it is. So number 2, lack of time. So save them time. Number 3, trouble finding good employees. These are other problems that are out there in the market. Most business owners struggle from finding good staff. And by the way, I'm going to talk about all people right now. Most people have a hard time finding good relationships. That's why the dating scene is so lucrative right now. That's why restaurants do so well right now, is because people are just looking to connect with each other. And businesses are having a hard time finding employees. So if you can build a culture of employees, in fact, we do this with Subway. We have a software we created with Subway. If you go to bestsubway.com, that's something we built for Melanie so that she could attract employees, because literally she was having a hard time attracting the best employees. So we created a website called bestsubway.com. So people are suffering because they can't find the right help. That's why you see businesses that are starting virtual services, virtual training, virtual assistant training services, where they not only will help you find a VA, but they'll train your VA for you. We recognize there's a big opportunity in this space because so many of the VAs are untrained. So you can actually charge more for a business where the VA comes in, gets trained, and then operates more specialized. In fact, I've paid $3 to $4 more per hour because a VA was specialized in the real estate niche. That's all they had to say to me. They're specialized. They do this better than anybody else. And so I paid more per hour, which I know that went directly to the owner of the company. And I was happy with it because I had a specialized person I didn't have to train. Hence, if you recognize there may be opportunities in the space right now for you to go out and train and educate and bring people in. Number 4, difficulty that business owners are facing is balanced growth and quality. So as they're building their businesses, they're starting to get lack of quality with their customers. They're having challenges with keeping their products consistent, concise, or effective still, or they're having a hard time growing. So the companies are facing 2 different struggles. Who here is feeling this in your side too? Just a little bit of loss in customer service as you scale, or we're just not scaling fast enough. We got great customer service, but we can't scale fast enough. So if you can solve some of those problems for somebody, you're going to find that somebody finds their money into your pocket. Their money will shift its way over to you. Number 5, ineffective web presence. This is affecting every human being on the planet, whether you're a business owner, whether you're a real estate investor, whether you are single. If you don't have a big enough presence, you can't get access to more opportunity in life. The other day, I made a post on Facebook. This is like maybe going a month back. I made a post and I said, hey, I'm looking for property in Fall River. Boom. I had just so many opportunities flood into me. And because I have an online presence, hence, if you recognize your online presence could use some work, maybe there's some help there. Absolutely. So if yours could use some work, maybe somebody else's could. These are opportunities in the business space for you to start creating and solving problems. One of the platforms we've created recently was Alchemist Connect. We created this in June of last year. So its birthday is coming up. We're 3 months out from its birthday. And Alchemist Connect has a powerful online presence, but also allows people to become administrators of other people's online presence. Build the websites, build the funnels, build the marketing on the social media. So there's all these little components that we've been tying into it so that we can create an opportunity for our community to go out and serve more people. So I want you to write down right now, what problem do you solve in the space that you're in that is your biggest problem? Because this wealth principle is all about making money, right? You got to solve a problem in order to get paid. Who here's committed to solving big problems at a profit? All right, because we're entrepreneurs. We solve other people's problems we can create. So don't go out and creating the problems, right? But solve the ones that already exist. So I've mentioned that there's a big problem in the world right now. There's a big challenge that most businesses could capitalize on, especially in the real estate space, especially in the sales space, especially in the marketing space. There's a lot of opportunity in this one particular market that if you're not paying attention to it, you're missing out on the biggest financial opportunity that has ever happened in the United States and in the whole entire world is the silver tsunami. Now, if you don't know what the silver tsunami is, I'll explain it. But if you do know what the silver tsunami is, then just nod your head. You know why it's so financially beneficial to be working with this generation. 1, the silver tsunami is the baby boom generation, right? They're in their 60s, 70s right now. They've had 60 to 70 years to accumulate wealth. So these are the richest people on the planet. Look at all the billionaires. They're in their 50s, 60s, 70s. Warren Buffett's in his 90s. So that they're in this range. All the richest people on the planet are in this range of wealth. And then you look at the fact that they're dying. So they have more problems. They're not as strong as they used to be, right? Their challenges, even their businesses are starting to get outdated, because a business starts to get outdated every 6-7 years. Business dies every 7 years. So businesses need to be reinvigorated, need to be recreated and reinvested into. So they're selling their businesses. They're selling their businesses at discounts. They're selling their real estate at discounts. They're moving, right? They're shifting, they're downsizing. Some of them are upsizing. Some of them are going to, they need help in the housing. Some of them are having financial struggles. Some of them need their time back. They recognize the value of their time. They're running out of it. And so they're looking for more time. Hence, can't recognize the silver tsunami hits all 5 of these. It's one group that has all of the money. Don't worry about the young generation. They're going to be fine. And this is something that I realized. And if you look at Alchemist Nation, early on, I used to try to help people my age. And then I realized the people my age don't really want help. They're so full of piss and vinegar. They think they can do it all by themselves. And I started realizing it's the people in their 40s, 50s, 60s that are starting to realize they might have fucked up something in their life because it hasn't happened yet. Retirement isn't here yet. Like, what happened? I was supposed to be retired by 55. I was supposed to be rich by 65. What went wrong? And so the problem we're looking to solve in Alchemist Nation, and have been for the last 3 years, is how do we help our next generation retire well? And one of the ones we haven't looked at much in the past, but we're looking at it now, is how do we create that 10,000 passive income, which is what Alchemist Advantage is. The Alchemist Advantage 12% return on investment is one of our tools, one of our solutions. Stephen Beaver was talking about it earlier, so that we can get that $100,000, $120,000 a year into somebody's pocket. Now it takes obviously $1 million investment to make $120,000 or $10,000 a month, but guess what? The silver tsunami has it. They've got it in their 401ks. They've got it in their savings accounts. They've got it in their real estate. So it's a solution. It's one solution towards the problem. What solutions can you offer? Maybe syndication, maybe doing investments with them, maybe hard money loans, maybe you invest with them on deals, you partner up 50-50. As investors, you have the opportunity to serve this generation. Maybe it's residential assisted living. Maybe you borrow from some silver tsunami, then maybe you go house some silver tsunami, and then take care of them as they continue through the rest of their life. This is something Vinny Chopra has been talking to me about every Thursday before we jump on our podcast. I'm like, Vinny, like, where's all the money at, Vinny? What are you investing in right now, Vinny? Where is the money? Vinny is a billionaire. $1.6 billion is the real estate he controls. And he always tells me, it's like, 800,000 is mine. The other 800,000 is my partner's. And if you recognize, that's just humble. That's just most syndicators will tell you the whole number. They're like, yeah, I control $110 million. They don't tell you they only control they only actually own about 20 million of that. Like, that's their chunk. Vinny, his whole entire career has always talked about the half that he controls, the half that he actually owns. And he's raised over $300 million. Like, that is tremendous. Who here would love to just raise just $1 million? Who here would just be like, $1 million would be fantastic? He's raised over $300 million from investors, and that's what's allowed him to buy $1.6 million worth of real estate, $1.6 billion worth of real estate. And he said he has told me the silver tsunami will double what he owns in the next 5 years. It will double what he owns because it's bigger than anything he's ever played with before, and he's done the research. Hence, if you recognize, we don't have to do the research. Somebody smarter than us is already ahead of us, already done the research, already gone out there, done it, got the lumps and bruises, got the arrows in their back. So what I'm going to ask for you this year is to set all of your false beliefs, all of the past thoughts around money that you had, all of the ideas that you have. And I want you to focus on one thing. I want you to focus on building your business, and I want to solve a problem. I want you to focus on the problem. But I also want you to focus on the solution. Hence, if you could solve problems, focus on the solution, right? Your marketing must focus on the problem. Your company must focus on the solution. Your marketing, write this down, this is really important. Your marketing company and your sales have to focus on the problem. Your company itself has to focus on improving the outcome of the solution. So it's difficult, as abundance mindset alchemists who we're transforming from pain to bliss, from competition to creation, from struggle to abundance. We're always talking about this positive mindset. And by the way, to build your company, surround yourself with positive people only. Eliminate all the negative people. Just don't spend any time with them. Just focus only on the positive people, and surround yourself with people who believe in your vision, believe in your dream, believe in what you're doing, because they'll help work you there. They'll help get you there. They'll help support you there. Same with Alchemist Nation. We only surround ourselves with people who are like, yeah, we are good people. We're going to keep moving. We're going to help more people. If we didn't, the company wouldn't be as big as it is. It wouldn't be as fast growing as it is. The movement of people who are caring about each other wouldn't be as powerful as it is. And so I'm going to ask you to do the same thing in your life. Surround yourself with good people. Surround yourself with positive people. Surround yourself with people who believe things are possible, that it can grow. And then when you're coming to this idea of the business and the problem you solve, the marketing, it's okay to point out the problem. It's okay to go out and say, hey, does your roof leak? Would you like to sell? Are you tired? Is money burning a hole in your pocket? Are you losing money to inflation right now? Are you losing 8% on that cash? Well, here's a solution to that problem. If you're tired of losing money, maybe you should invest, or maybe you should lend, or maybe you should partner up with somebody in the real estate space who knows how to double money, who knows how to grow wealth. Hence, if you know what you're doing with money, if you've proven it already, you've proven it to yourself, you've proven it to the world, you can prove it by your net worth. You can prove it just by looking at the bank account, looking at the assets you hold, your net worth tracker. I just filled mine out the other day. I was asked to send over a personal financial statement. And I looked at my net worth tracker, and I looked at it, I said, man, I want more on there. It's fluctuated quite a bit over the last few years. And like this year, it's gone back and forth between stocks and crypto's little decline. But my business is growing. And the businesses are growing faster than the real estate, because business is based on a function of income. It's based on how much income it can bring in. And on the SaaS platforms, it's based on how many members we have, how many users we have, how many potential businesses that can come off of the streams of those existing clients. Hence, if you understand the idea of vertical integration, solving multiple problems for the same person creates multiple streams of income with one marketing funnel. I'm going to ask you this year to nail your marketing funnel. That's the big thing. If you've got a business, hands if you already got a business, already committed to a business, got one? Awesome. Excellent. So the next step, your business must solve a problem. Commit to one problem, one big problem, the entry point problem that all your clients are going to have, and then solve the other problems later, next year. But for this year, make the big problem your marketing problem, right? Make the big problem that everybody has your marketing problem and solve that one. Talk about that one. Talk about that problem on your social media, on first contact. Talk about the solution on your one-on-one meetings. And Scam, if you understand, like agents don't do the mistake of, hey, I help people buy houses. Instead, show them what it would be like to have a house. Walk through the house. Give them the experience, right? Passive investors, like, just let your people know, hey, it's nice not having to work. Like, go to the gym. If you want to raise capital. Here's my final tip before we go to the book of the week. Two books of the week. If you want to raise capital, go work out. And then post stories that you're working out. Just be working out, because rich people, wealthy men in general, want to go and work out themselves. They want passive income. They've convinced themselves that the only way to get passive income is the only way to work out is that they've got to get the money passive, so they can't work. They don't work anymore. Who here knows they're burning all their hours? They're running out of time, right? They're in their 40s, 50s, 60s. And they're like, man, I gotta take care of my body. This thing's falling apart, but I'm working all this high paying job. I've got this money built in my 401k. I got this money saved. Like, how am I going to get back my time? They got to start passively investing. You can be that solution. Allow them to passively invest in your company, or allow them to passively invest in other instruments that are going to allow them financial freedom. And if you want to attract them, go to the gym, right? If nothing else, you're going to get in shape. And if you're committed to getting in better shape in 2023, awesome. Do some stories. Do some stories that you're in the gym every day. Stories are the best for the gym, by the way, because the story disappears the next day and you have to do it again. Right? I'm not talking posts. I'm not talking reels. I'm not talking like on your social media. Like I'll do you can do a status update if you're doing legs and your legs are still skinny and you want to remind people that, working out doesn't happen overnight. It's just like all success, but do it in your stories. I'd love to see every one of you doing a leg day at least once a week, and then tag me in it so I know that you're doing leg day on the same day I'm doing leg day, because I'll be doing leg day every day this week. Can't scan if you're down. Take on the challenge. All right, let's do some leg days together. Cool. So we got Wealth Principle 5 and 6 books of the week. Michael Shine, are you here? Where's Mike? There he is.
Yes, I am.
Michael Shine is the keeper of the books. He's the holistic attorney. He's the closer. He runs Alchemist Title. Let's give Mike Shine a big round of applause. Mike, the book of the week. Books of the
Yeah,
week.
dose. Oh no, dose. All right, so the first book of the week is Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is one of the foundational 5. If you've been in Walter's group long enough, you know that there are 5 foundational books, and you're supposed to read them in order, according to Walter. And guess which one is the first? It is Rich Dad Poor Dad. And on a personal note, this book changed my life. Brenda and I always talk about, we were in a rut. We were just sitting watching dumb TV, and we read this book, and it changed everything. If you're an employee or a solo proprietor of a business, you be prepared to have your world rocked, because you're not in a very good position. And also another thing, your house is not an asset. So that is just one of the greatest books ever. Changed my life. It'll change your life. You can read it in a day. I think Walter says he reads it like once a year at least. I know I do. I always go back to it. It's eye-opening. So that's the first book, which is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Extra credit, if you read the first one, I would definitely recommend going on to his second book, which is called Cash Flow Quadrant, because it reinforces what was said in Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I'm telling you, as soon as I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, I went to Brenda and I said, we have to change things in our life. And that's when I started buying real estate, so that I had passive income, so that I wasn't trading my time for dollars. So that's the first one. It's such a, nice job, Stephen. Cash Flow Quadrant actually was more of an impact on me, but I would recommend Rich Dad Poor Dad first, and then go on to Cash Flow Quadrant. And then we'll all be investors and business owners, and not W-2 employees getting most of our paycheck taken away from us. So there you go. Got the other one there too. So that's the first book. Amazing book. And again, it's part of the foundational 5. So if you're hanging out with Walter, you should, I hate saying should, especially when Doug's on the thing, stop shoulding on yourself.
He's shitting all over everybody. By the way, hands scam if you'd like to know what the foundational 5 are and the order of which that you should read them. Should.
Should.
The order we agree they are read best in, that the mind perceives them best, is first, Rich Dad Poor Dad. The second one is Richest Man in Babylon. Third is Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. The fourth is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And the fifth is The Science of Getting Rich. And The Science of Getting Rich is a book that I've read every single weekend for the last 3 or 4 years. And Mike Shine has joined me on that, where let's just listen to that book every single day, every single Sunday of the week. And it just kind of gets our minds right on why we're doing what we're doing. So those foundational 5, I just dropped them in the chat as well. So if you want to go find the link, you can research them later. Mike, the second book of the week for Principle 6, Your Business Must Solve a Problem.
Okay, so the second book of the week is Elon Musk. If anybody knows me, they know that I'm a total Tesla Elon Musk fan. Elon Musk gets a bad rap because people see like just headlines, mainstream media just puts out. But if you spend any time just on YouTube and listen to any longer form discussion where Elon's talking, you'll realize that he's just an amazing person with a great head on his shoulder, who really cares about this planet and is just brilliant. He's running $5 billion companies at the same time. Actually, with Twitter, it's probably 6, but $6 billion companies. He's just got a great head on his shoulder. And this is the book that shows the background, how it shows how SpaceX was made, shows about the early struggles with Tesla. It's so inspiring, and it makes you realize that we're all, after you see what Elon does with 24 hours, it makes you reevaluate what you're doing with your 24 hours, because he just crushes it, and it's so inspiring. It's like a Steve Jobs biography for this generation. I highly recommend it. It's just so awesome, so inspiring, such a great person, and cares about the world so much. And if it's not this world, it's going to be Mars. So that's kind of a fun part if you like science, because he wants to die. He jokingly says, I want to die on Mars, hopefully not on impact. So, so yeah. So Elon Musk, I mean, it's by Ashley Vance. And God, two and run. Both of these books are just super inspiring for me. And those are the books of the week.
Awesome. Let's give Mike Shine a round of applause. He is the keeper of the books, the holistic attorney, the closer. He's done all of our real estate transactions over the last few years. As long as it's in real estate, he pretty much has the answer. He's also helped us find the right attorneys and title companies, even when we're not in the same state. So Mike Shine, let's give him one more round of applause. He's really helped us out with scaling our real estate business and helped a lot of our community and tribe. I think he's closed pretty much every transaction Alchemist Nation has done. Mike has been involved in it one way or the other. So he's really helped build millionaires just by closing real estate deals. So we're going to open it up to questions. And before I do, Dorena asked me to let everybody who's already signed up for the Recession Proof Challenge know it is this Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are starting. It's 21 straight days. If this is the first time you're hearing about it, I apologize. That's my fault. The idea is to help you become recession proof. That's going to be 100 clients who pay you enough for you to become a millionaire. Now, not everybody will implement this perfectly. And so I want to point out that I only guarantee success if you do every single action for every single day for 21 days straight. And the million doesn't happen in 21 days. It happens over a year of compounding the results of those 21 days. Hands the camera if you understand the Recession Proof Challenge is that. It's a challenge to take the actions that will get you to own $1 million business. I provide the framework. It's a 21-day mission event. Every single day, you'll get a mission. At the end of the mission, I'll tell you this. This mission will not self-destruct, but your business might if you don't take action. Hands the camera if you've already been a part of the challenge and found it to be extremely valuable. Awesome. Who here is joining the challenge again? Been through it before and is joining it again this Monday, starting with us again. Awesome. Let's give all our crazy alchemists another round of applause. These are our community leaders. You'll see that these men and women are building their own communities, building their own groups. They're building their own tribes, and they're benefiting by building millionaires. These are our millionaire builders. So let's one more time give them a big round of applause. These are the future of Alchemist Nation. They are the future of many people's wealth. They're helping people generate income because, right, Richard, the point is not to work, it's to generate income. So I want to open it up to questions. And before we do open questions, I want to ask Doug McGurk, because Doug is the mindset coach. He's the real deal behind Alchemist Nation when it comes to the affirmations. He wrote all of these, the manifesto. So let's give Doug McGurk a big round of applause. Doug, the maximizer McGurk, what would you say is a good reason to own a business? And what are some of the mindset challenges that a person goes into that maybe we could solve today?
Well, I don't know about solving in one moment, but if it was that easy, we'd all do it, wouldn't we? I did want to add something to Mike, to the books. I just want to share a quick story on the power of that paradigm shift of mindset. So my dad is super conservative, had the job, the career, lived his life, did not get my entrepreneurial mindset as far as starting my music business and all of that, and did not support it other than, emotionally, like, good luck. But as he was getting older, what happens? He was in banking. He was the EVP of a publicly traded bank. What happens when a bank gets purchased and you are 60 years old and you are making $500,000 a year and new leadership comes in? What happens? Out the door. That's right. Thank you, Richard. You are gone. So there he is at 60 some odd years old, and he cannot get a gig because why? Who wants to pay a 60-year-old $500,000 earner? Like, who wants to? They're like, I'll just hire some young whippersnapper for $80K and train them in our ways of thinking. So without getting into some of the other stuff that he did, and not that he needed to work, he wanted to work. I was like, and by the way, this whole time he was not into the whole woo-woo-y thing that I was into, the Tony Robbins and all those things. So I was like, Dad, let me give you this book, Robert Kiyosaki's Loopholes of the Rich. So I gave that to him, and he's looking at it, and like a month later, after he read it, he comes back to me and he goes, "That's a pretty interesting book. Yeah, thanks." I was like, "Oh, cool." Next thing you know, he goes out, he and a couple of his friends buy a company. So this folds into what Walter's talking about. Sometimes, you have to have the mindset. He had the ability to buy a company, not necessarily build one. Well, no, I'm sorry. He did build it first. First thing he did was he built a mortgage company. I'm sorry. He and his partners built a mortgage company. And they found a niche where they were lending money to prefab houses. So prefab houses, like banks, don't loan on, but they'll buy the notes after it's done. So what he did was he and his buddies, they did this mortgage company for the problem to solve was builders could not get funding for these prefab houses. So they would fund the houses and then sell the notes to the banks who wouldn't fund them in the first place. But now that the property was done, that was what he did. Then with that money that they were earning, they went out and they bought a company from Grumman on Long Island and the building that manufactured the microphones for flight helmets. Go figure. And they still own that technology. They're still doing that. And he sold the company, the mortgage company, to Centex. So I guess what I'm sharing here is the books, read them, dive in, the exercises, do them, dive in, the opportunities, take them, dive in, and say yes, and then figure it out. Because the challenge with most of us is we're so worried about what it's going to look like. How's it going to feel? I mean, what if I fail? What if it looks bad? We're humans. We all have those thoughts. The challenge is if you look at the most successful people, is they didn't worry about how it looked as it was happening. They looked at the results. They stayed focused on their purpose. They stayed focused on why they were doing it. And then they figured it out. Because if you're honest, if everyone were to be honest, how many of y'all accomplished something, anything that at one time you thought was going to be difficult, impossible, hard? Anyone? Yeah. Did it happen the way you thought it was going to happen? No, it never does. So when we get really focused on the purpose rather than the process, if we get really dive in and lean into why this is important. And by the way, it doesn't matter that why, as long as it's important to you. Now, I might argue that, and I will, is that it's got to be spiritually grounded. It's got to be, of course, as Walter always shares, moral, ethical, honest, all of those things. Like we're going to do all of that legal. I'm not, of course, saying do whatever it takes within, being evil. However, I am saying that it's okay to want that money, because it's really, if you get really down to it, it's because it's what that money means to you. It means that freedom. It means that opportunity to contribute. It means that opportunity to add even more value, to maybe start another business, to leave a legacy. And when we make that paradigm shift, and that was what my dad was able to do, his whole model of the world was you had to work for somebody, not work for yourself, not own the business. He always had a challenge. One of his best friends built a huge business and sold it to Pulte Homes for like $1 gazillion. My dad did all of his lending. And then when he sold the company, but he never got on board with it because of his fear around it, because what it would look like. He had this mindset that, I work for the bank, I get my 401k, I do all those things. And once he was able to let go of that and try on something new, his life transformed. So that's all I have to say about that.
Let's give Doug McGurk a round of applause. He has been helping us scale up our mindsets, because mindset is a lot of what success is all based on. And if it wasn't for Doug and his coaching programs and his work he does at the summit, who was at the 100 Millionaire Summit and saw his talk, it is so powerful what he's able to do on stage. He's got one of the longest talks at the entire event, and just the journey your mind goes on, and like, we all cry. I mean, I don't know anybody who's sat through it and hasn't felt some sort of emotion and then felt right afterwards the compelling desire to go and improve their lives. So one more time, let's give Doug a round of applause. Mitch Jorsky is going to be starting the Alchemist Nation podcast starting soon. We did a 100 Millionaires podcast this week with Mike and Mitch, and we kind of dove into what's happening in the economy. So I'm open to answering any questions. So let's just unmute the mics and get started. I see a bunch of our new partners in here. Lorraine is driving. Eric Florney, I got to have a conversation with you. I think Doreen's going to set it up. We've been looking for a couple different partners. So anyway, if you're watching this and you got the wealth principle, like go and start your business, write down, take the notes. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for your future success, for the success you've already had, the people you're going to help. Cheers to your success. When you have a choice, always work with the best. And for all of us, this is Q&A. Let's unmute the mics and let's have some conversations. The millionaires will stick around for as long as they can.
Walter, this is where the gold really is. You really need to hit that record button again, in my opinion.
Done and done. All right. So first, unmute the mic. Wins. What are either tips, stories, experiences around building business, or theories on what are the right businesses, or if you just want to ask questions on what the right businesses or marketing strategy or sales strategy to win today? Go ahead, Mike.
I was waiting patiently for a Mitch Scaredy Cat Jaworski rap quote. So
Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you, Mike.
Jesus.
I've been asking Mitch all week for a Scaredy Cat rap quote for this principle. I swear to God.
I have a question, Walter.
Yep. Give us 1 second. 1 second, Jake. I want this rap quote to exist.
I mean, this is a
No pressure,
rather
Mitch.
ubiquitous wealth principle. I don't know if there's a quote that specifically goes with it, but I guess I'll come up with a ubiquitous quote, and that is, we're all here getting knowledge, right? Which is part of the process. You need knowledge before you can take action, but without action, your knowledge is useless. So I'm gonna quote somebody and then I'm gonna add a line of my own. So there's a rapper named Talib Kweli, who, if you're a hip hop head, you know who that is because he's kind of a legend. And he said, life without knowledge is death in disguise. And to take that a step further, I think life without action is a death of your dreams. So you got to get the knowledge, but then you got to take action, because if you don't take action, I mean, you're just going to be a smart person that's in the same exact place. So, and this is why really unintelligent people can also be really wealthy. So you don't have to be a rocket scientist to build wealth in real estate, especially real estate, or many other businesses. So don't equate your intelligence or whatever you think your intellectual level is with the ability to create wealth. Those things do not go hand in hand. So learn the lessons, get the knowledge, take the action. It's pretty much that simple.
Let's give Mitch Jaworski, the Scaredy Cat Guide to Real Estate Investing, a big round of applause. So he, what you just said, Mitch, actually makes a lot of sense, man. I think that people think I'm smart because I say a lot of shit on videos and on social media, but I got rich 7 years ago. I was financially free 7 years ago, right? I was a millionaire 5 years ago. And then in the last 5 years, I've read over 400 books. I didn't read the 400 books. I didn't go to all the coaching programs until after I had already gotten my wealth, right? I only had one coaching program. I had a $10,000 coaching program that I had bought in 2017 that really was kind of the first beginning of me spending money, but I went to all the free stuff for the 2 years that I was building from financially free to millionaire. And financially free, I think I'd only read 12 books by that time. I wasn't that smart. I just can't recognize my smarts came after I got rich. My intelligence, my education came afterwards. I had more stories, I had more lessons, and I'd read more books and taken more. My $150,000 in coaching was more speaking coaching and mindset coaching to level myself up to the next level. So I think that, Mitch, what you just shared is really important for everybody on the call. Is you don't have to spend all your time learning it, but you do get to spend your time doing and getting that physical education. So we're going to do Mike real quick because he won't put his hand down unless he gets his chance. And then Jacob Bell, and then Eric, and then Chong in that order. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I just want to say, because you mentioned that you and I and a lot of other people listen to the Science of Getting Rich every single Sunday, that one of the eye-opening things for me was in the second or third chapter where he talks about what type of people can get rich. He says smart people get rich, dumb people get rich, stingy people get rich, people that spend a lot of money get rich. It just kind of eye-opening that anybody can get rich. You don't have to be brilliant to get rich. It's not, just do things in a certain way. So I highly recommend the Science of Getting Rich. Join us. It takes 2 hours every Sunday. Wallace Waddles on Audible. It's awesome.
Yeah, bald guys can get rich. Guys with crooked teeth can get rich. It's just a very important thing to point out that you don't need a perfect smile or a perfect head of hair to get rich. So if that is a belief system, because it was for me growing up, like I thought, because I wasn't in shape, I was skinny, I had no hairline. Like I was like, this, I'll never be successful. And then one day I just decided, fuck all that. I'm just gonna be successful, and then people are gonna have to deal with how I look when I'm in their faces all the time. Hence, Cam, if you can do with that too, if you recognize it doesn't matter. Like they're just gonna have to put up with how great you are. Awesome. Go ahead, Jacob. Let's give Mike Shine a big round of applause. By the way, Mike, we can't all be as beautiful as you, man. Some of us.
I got to give a shout out to you guys for turning me on to that book. I listen to it every week. I swear to God, I'm addicted to it. I'm literally addicted to that book. And the quote is the following is the quote, Mike. Smart people get rich and blockheads get rich. I have another friend of mine that's listening to me. I text it to him every Sunday as a reminder. But anyways, my question is about where to incorporate. You guys have corporations, and I'm a resident of Massachusetts. It's brutal up here. $500 per year to have a corporation in Massachusetts. I've had some in Rhode Island, and I do have one in Delaware. But to be honest with you, I really don't know where I should incorporate.
Now that is a cool question, because I do have an attorney who's a really good friend of ours who would be able to answer that. Mike's business partner could certainly do it. I know Natalia, Natalia Grice could definitely answer that. That's what she does. She does estate planning and building those entities. I will tell you, Jacob, whatever state you're doing business in, like if you can't afford the $500 in Massachusetts, like it's not a business. Don't create the LLC yet. But
no, that's not the reason. It's like what's you hear all these stories. You should go here. I heard someone telling me I should be in South Dakota. I should be in Vegas. That it's not the money question. It's the
So then it's more of a tax question or a protection question, or what gives you the best opportunities. It really will depend on the industry. It will depend on like where you own, what you own, how it operates. If it's an online business, don't do it in the United States. That's actually kind of stupid, right? So if you're an online business, you want to be in an offshore country, because there's there's places where you literally only pay 1% tax. So you definitely, where you create your entity is not as important today as it will be in the future. Right. When you get to that point where you got $100 million company, you start really looking at adjustments. But when your business is making less than $1 million, it's not going to have a tremendous impact. Right. You really just got to get to that point, because most of your early business income anyway is getting spent. Like you got tax benefits of just having expenses. The beginning years of the business, it's really just growing. And if you're in the United States, be in the United States.
Thank you. Yeah, I forgot New Jersey, by the way. Anthony Jacobs Financial is actually in New Jersey. Is our headquarters. Anyways, thank you.
But you do want a holding company, Jacob. You will want a holding company to hold all of those, a management company, because that is probably something you might be missing out tax benefit wise, of being able to charge those companies that management fee. And that will help out a little bit on the taxes. # not tax advice, not financial advice.
Thank you.
Let's give Jacob Bell a round of applause. Crush it, man. I love that you're reading the book every Sunday, and you brought somebody in and did accountability. That's what me, Mike, and Mitch do. We'll share it with each other every Sunday. We'll just be like, hey, here's a line that stuck out to me today. Like here's a line that stuck out as I was listening to the Science Getting Rich. Then we got our Three Musketeers WhatsApp chat that we just constantly filling with the three of us. Go ahead, Chung. Eric Florney, I'm sorry, you were first.
I wasn't sure about that. Hey, actually, more than anything, man, I think I heard what I needed to hear, and didn't have a question, but thought about something. I got a little bit of a hip hop quotable myself, if you don't mind, but I want to go old school for a minute. Ice Cube. Let's see Big Bank take Little Bank. We get in the place to where, I just want to give everybody a shout out that's on here. I know everybody realizes the fact that trading our time for money is not a good thing, and it's going to keep us in a cycle of running from paycheck to paycheck. I just want to, hey, I'm excited about all you guys' future. Hey, it's just time for us to grow into it, is what I'm understanding, as opposed to trying to learn it all and try to make sense of it before we start moving. We just got to move. And as we move, we'll start seeing it more, and we'll open our eyes more to it. But God bless, man. I appreciate y'all.
Hell yeah. Let's give Eric Florney a big round of applause. It's the truth. If I knew that I would be public speaking when I started real estate investing, I never would have gotten into real estate investing. If I'd known I'd be raising $1 million of capital to invest in other people's projects, I never would have started real estate investing, because all I wanted to do was work by myself, have my own thing. I wanted to do it all alone. And I never would have started this business if I'd known where it was going to lead today. So don't worry about where it's going to lead. Worry about what problem you can solve today, what the marketplace needs, and go in and solve that problem with your skill set you have today, and then acquire new skill sets. As you get, as you move along the journey, you can acquire new skill sets. It is inevitable that at some point you'll not be the same person you started out as. Every master was once a disaster. Every single one of us. There was a point where I could not get on a stage. Like physically, you could not put me on a stage. Like it would not happen. I just would not go out there. And now, when in the right scenarios, I look forward to those opportunities. And can't you recognize you're in a process of growth? Your wealth will continue to grow as much as you do. Go ahead, Chong.
Hey guys, I think a lot of people don't understand that the largest expense in owning a business is paying taxes. The wealthiest billionaires pay less than 11%.
Yep.
Way less than even LeBron James. When I started doing this, I had to learn about the difference between tax avoidance and evasion, right? You want to play along the rules, and you want to get with a really, really good tax strategist, because it could cost you 40 to 60% of your money. And having it structured correctly, starting your taxes on day one from each year, and then putting it in the right place, especially if you're looking to scale, is important. And then real estate is like one of the best, especially if you own a bunch of properties and you have tenants. Man, you just keep writing them off. I've seen some really big gains, from working with different coaches, and it's crazy how working with the right CPAs, it saved them millions of dollars, and they get to keep that versus they paid millions of dollars. So I know it's not a comfortable topic, but it's important.
This is super valuable. Let's give Chong a round of applause. Let's talk about taxes for a moment, because that is why we own a business. Every one of you, I want to point out again, needs to own a business. And Alchemist Nation is a business. We run this as a true business, the education side of it, the community networking side of this, and we reinvest back into this business because it's the easiest way for us not to pay taxes, as well as the easiest way for to have more impact. Hence, if you'd like your business to have more impact, awesome. So one of the easiest way to get more impact is to scale out your assets, to create more locations, to create more technology, to give tools to build assets. And so we reinvest a lot of what we make from Alchemist Nation back into Alchemist Nation. And it's a front funnel for our other businesses. Our lending practice, all of the financial stuff that we do on the back end comes from the relationships that this training community creates for us. I didn't know you until we connected on this call. In many cases, there's a lot of people who are on this call that I wouldn't have known otherwise unless we were training and teaching for free in a lot of situations. And then our bigger groups, later, brother, a lot of our bigger groups where, people have paid to be a part of those things, masterminds, inner circle, or the mentorship programs, like all of those different components, that money gets reinvested back into scaling. Hence, if you're willing to reinvest in your business, to keep scaling it, to keep growing it to the point where, you don't have to pay taxes. Like you can not avoid, but you can just play by the rules and grow your company, and then make the money in different ways so that the taxes are not paid, so that your money is going and flowing along the rules that the government has set. The government doesn't want you paying taxes. The government truly doesn't want you paying taxes. They want you building businesses. They'd rather you create jobs and housing than pay taxes. The reason they tax you, or not, they don't tax us, they tax the poor people, is because the poor people are not building businesses and they're not building houses. But if they were, you'd pay no taxes. If you were creating jobs and if you were creating housing, you would pay no tax in this country. But if you don't create jobs and you don't create housing, you pay tax. So if you want to look at your level of success in the government's eyes, look at how much you pay taxes on. They don't want you paying taxes. That's why they created all the loopholes. Therefore, you, the person who decides to build, I'm going to say it one more time, the person who decides to build businesses, create jobs, right? And build real estate, create housing, jobs and housing. That's what creates a country. And if you provide food or transportation, they'll make sure you don't pay taxes also. And so if you understand this, these are the big functions. Education, educators, colleges don't pay taxes. And if you're catching, those are 5 industries that do not pay taxes. right? Just a thought, just something to think about, right? Like I love that we went into the tax side of it. So Stephen, go ahead. I see you have the mic, brother. Ask him if this is valuable. You getting some value in the Q&As? Awesome. Cool. Awesome.
Go ahead and let Heather talk. Heather.
Heather who? There's a couple Heathers on the call.
Oh,
right?
there was a Heather on there. I want to go back to way back when some people here will remember, some people won't, but there was a motivational speaker called Wayne Dyer back in the day, and he came out with his book, and the guy that was interviewing was like, "Wow, your book came out just at the right time. You're so lucky." And he goes, "Yeah, you're right. I am so lucky. It only took me 15 years of luck to promoting this book to have it come out at the right time." So you never know, right? It's a lot of preparation. It's Alchemist Station didn't appear, 15 years ago when you or 14, whatever it was that you started, being in the real estate business. So you put the work in. Melanie is a perfect example. Okay, she put all the work in, and then she gets this amazing deal, which every one of us would have said no, hell no, because we know it's a scam. But she put the work in. She knew the questions to ask, and she got the results. And so you never know what knowledge that you're studying or where it's going to lead to you. You go down. I always say you start to walk down. You got to take the journey with 1,000 miles starts with a single step. If you don't take that step, you don't realize that first step after that was going to put you over a ledge, a 100-foot dive, right? So now you know to turn left. It's the journey, right? It's the journey. So anyway, just pay attention to the journey. Like I think it was Doug that said, pay attention to the process, not the product or not the destination. Enjoy the ride, right?
100%. Let's give Stephen Beaver a big round of applause. He's been building out the six-figure jumpstart, which is going to help. We've been building millionaires. Hands can if you know we're building millionaires. Hands can if you know that's the process. Who'd like to really quickly understand again the process, how we do it, how it works? All right. So this millionaire process, it isn't that a person comes to me and I say, okay, instantly, magic wand, you're a millionaire. We first have a conversation. We had to look at fundamentally where you're at, where you're going. I see Kim Possible's on here. So Kim is one of our millionaires. So let's give Kim a round of applause. Let's give all of our millionaires on the call a round of applause. Mike, Mitch, Darina, Ron. So these guys and gals, when they started building wealth, they first had to get six figures. And six figures does a thing in the mind, right? It does something to you that nobody else who has not earned six figures gets, which is an understanding that you can out-earn the average human being in this country. When you earn your first six figures, something in your mind sparks that says, oh my God, I'm different from everybody else. There's something different about me. I'm a unique individual who has broken the laws, who's broken the rule, who's broken this financial barrier. Hands to the camera if you understand exactly what I'm talking about. You know the barriers there. You've seen the glass ceiling. It's like a physical thing that once you pass that six figures, even if it's been a long time ago for you, like it felt real. It was like, whoa, this is unique. So and it also does another thing. It also gives capital for investment. So part of making six figures is now you have money you can put aside and do things with, especially if you've been an average income earner. If you've been earning 50 to 70,000, this extra 30, 20,000, 30, $40,000 is new income. It's additional. So it allows you to have new things. And some of those first investments have to be in educating yourself on how to invest money. That's one of the first investments you have to make is actually in the education of being able to invest money itself, because that education typically is not free. Because if you're getting it from somebody who has the time to give it to you, either they're ultra rich or they're an average person. And you want to be very careful who you take advice from at that level, because it's very pivotal on how much time you'll waste or how much time you're going to actually just jump to the next point. So the next step is from 100,000. It's that first net worth of 100,000. So first you got to become a six-figure earner, then a six-figure net worth, or you got to have the six figures. From that point, that's step two, by the way. Step two, then it's double. It's double your income, double your net worth. To double your net worth, you invest in an asset like business or real estate. It's very simple. You take the initial 100,000, you invest into something that doubles your net worth, but that doesn't guarantee you're going to double your income. To double your income, you increase either sales or marketing in your business, or you increase the amount of assets that you own through negotiations. It doesn't necessarily have to be through money. So some of the deals that we've done in order to increase income are businesses that started out of nowhere, or partnerships with people who had a business flowing through our already pre-existing channel. One of the businesses that I talk about a lot lately is networking events. And that's why we sold Business in a Box. We sold Event in a Box. We sold Alchemist Connect with an enterprise version that builds networking events for you. If you can control a network, you can plug in any stream of income. If you control a network of 100 real estate investors, a landscaper could benefit from you. If you control a network of 100 real estate investors, a property manager could benefit from knowing you. If you can control 100 people, by the way, notice this, 100, a network of 100 real estate investors, then a financial planner can benefit from that network, a real estate agent, an attorney, a lender. Hence, for catching how this model works. You can plug in streams of income if you control a network. It's what Facebook was based on, except an in-person network is more valuable. Some of the networks that we talk about are real estate investor associations. They are real estate and business professional networking groups where you get all of the vendors together. They are multifamily networks. They can be landlord associations. Any one of those four has the capacity to pull in an additional $100,000 to $250,000 of income per year. And as a business, it's not a real estate business, right? It's not like an agency where you're selling your personal face. You're selling a community, and the community is worth 3 to 5 times what it actually brings in each year. So if it brings in 100,000, it's worth 3 to 500,000. If it brings in 200,000, it's worth 6 to $1 million. Hence, for doing the math in our heads, we understand the value of a database of actual community, and the income streams that you plug into it will dictate its value. If you can plug in a lending income stream, if you can plug in a SaaS income stream, if you can plug in a vendor income stream, your business will go up in value significantly. And that is one of the things that we teach in the Recession Proof Challenge. It's the reason your business becomes recession proof, because now you have clients with net worth. It ties in the silver tsunami. It helps the silver tsunami find where to invest their money in, where to partner with their capital, we solve their problems, right? Sometimes we're buying houses from the silver tsunami. They got to let go of their assets. Hence, Karen, if that was valuable, understanding the process of building millionaires, one of the benefits to it, one of the weird things that works when you build events is these particular 4 events also build millionaires. These 4 particular events are focused on real estate investors. And so by serving them as they're building their wealth, you also build your wealth. And Scan, if you understand now the concept of 100 millionaires inspire to build 100 millionaires, it's a wealth building that compounds and supports each other. The accountability of this group right here builds millionaires. Every month, every week, we get together thinking about the next principle. We're implementing. Hence, Scan, if you're committed to this principle this week, you're going to implement it in your business. You're going to go make sure your business solves a problem, right? You're going to make sure if you don't own a business, you're going to build a business or the next business. Every year, I build an additional business. Just adds to another stream to the existing business. Symbiotic flows. We're up to 11 businesses right now. They all feed off of the same business, the same marketing business. If you don't have a business, like I said earlier today on the call, start your marketing business first. Whatever the first big problem is that's going to attract the most clients. One more question. Let's do 1 or 2 more questions. Was that valuable to understand the millionaire building process, how it works, how we do it? We use technology. We use all sorts of different ways, but it first comes down to the tribe. A human will not want more if somebody else around them doesn't have more. We only want what we've seen possible for other people. Until, like, if you're on the beach, until you see somebody pick up a seashell, you will not even consider a seashell exists. But if somebody picks it up for a flash, for a second, you'll think, I wonder why they want that. Hence, if you've had this experience before, you've seen it in your own life. Somebody picks something up, and now you're looking at it saying, do I want that too? Is that something I want? So networking events where people are building wealth, networking events where people are building business, networking events where people are buying and building real estate will inspire you to buy, build real estate and businesses. When you're inspired to do those things, you will become rich over time. There's 2 rules to getting rich. 1, buy and build business. 2, buy or build real estate. You'll get tax advantages all the way through. The government will take care of you, and your money will show up. Because if you're building a business that solves a problem, and you're solving housing, which is another business that solves a problem, you will continue to have a reason to be around. And real estate is the oldest business, and it'll be the final business that AI will finally take over. But of all the businesses, it will be the very, very last business that automation and AI can take over. Hence, Karen, if you understand, you want to be in the last one, not the first. You don't want to be in writing books right now, right? Unless you're a ghostwriter, in which case we're good. But you don't want to be a blogger where AI can replace you as a blogger. But you do want to be the landlord of the real estate, because that's the final industry. That's the last end game. And the person who's going to buy us out will be the government. So let's open up to, we'll take one last question before we head out. It's 11:11. Let's see what you got. By the way, was that valuable? That was a little rant there. Was that valuable to know where the future is?
Walter,
cool.
this is
Yeah,
Heather. I apologize. I'm kind of sick right now, but I had a couple comments, not really questions, if that's okay.
Yeah, Heather, get better. Of course. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay, so number one, someone was talking about, getting started and all of that. My first comment would be find someone or someone's who would who know better about the industry that you want to get involved in, whatever aspect of that industry that is. And don't be afraid to take that first step. There's so many people that sit there and they dwell and think about it, and they look at deals and then they lose the deal because they didn't move on it or whatever. You can't overthink it. Get in where it's a little bit comfortable at first, so that you're getting the steps down and you're learning the processes of doing the deals. Don't wait and wait because you're going to just keep losing deals, and then you're going to lose interest, and you're going to never succeed at what you're trying to do. The second part that I wanted to talk about was the taxes. And we know from experience, when we first got in real estate, the first year we went to our normal tax place that I don't want to say the name, but they do everybody's taxes with a W-2. They only understand W-2s at most of the tax places. If you don't go to someone who knows how to structure business taxes, then they're not going to take care of you, because it actually, for us, triggered a audit. And so for about 5 years, everything we did was under the microscope, and it was a pain in the butt. But anyway, we got through it and we learned from it. And so we always recommend everybody to go to someone who is an actual expert at business taxes. And there is a big difference. That's what I wanted to add.
Absolutely. Let's give Heather Smith a round of applause. It's great advice. It is every one of those, because in business, there's a lot of bad advice out there. There's a lot of people who've never done stuff. There's a lot of coaches and gurus and mentors and people who are just influencers on Facebook because they did a famous video and now people are looking to them for advice, and they're just Googling shit and saying stuff. And they don't have the experience, right? They're going on ChatGPT to find out what to say. What I'm telling you is that in this industry, there are a lot of snake oil salesmen. There are a lot of people who don't know how to do this business. There are people who are going to tell you to wholesale. There are people who are going to say, you got to go door knock to be successful. I'm telling you right now, the money is built in relationships, connections, understanding the right principles. What Heather just shared about taxes, getting the right professionals around you. I also got audited, Heather, because I didn't have quite the right professionals. And by the way, H&R Block sucks when it comes to business owners. And if you're doing TurboTax, they also suck when it comes to business owners.
Both of them.
I got no problem saying don't use those guys. They suck when it comes to business owners, right? But we have professionals who we've used, right? I'll tell you, TurboTax, Neil McSpadden, he's on my Be the Bank calls. And Neil shows up to Alchemist Nation calls. Neil is a real estate investor, a crypto investor, a stock investor, a business owner. And so for him, he's in one of my masterminds, that the crypto mastermind that Mitch started. So he's somebody I know is moral, ethical, does things legally, and loves his community. And he understands the tax code. And if you've got implications from crypto, he understands that too. And as a real estate investor, he understands those implications. So Heather, that is, let's give Heather one more round of applause. That's great. Great advice, great suggestions. And for each one of you, look, I know what I'm asking. I know business is not always easy. Elon actually has a quote where he talks about it being like chewing glass and staring at the abyss. And as somebody who owns 11 businesses with 11 business owners, 11 partners, I can tell you that the relationships are not always easy between all of us. I think all of us love each other, and I love each and every one of them personally, individually. And I love each and every one of you because I know what you're capable of and I know what you're going to do, but it is not always easy. You know, there's a lot of work that you've got to go and get past. So just on the tough times, in the times where you believe the business is falling apart and the money's tight and like there's no way this is going to work, just remember that it might. And what if it does? Let's just pretend for a moment that maybe something does come through. Maybe a solution does come through. Maybe the money is already there and we're just missing it. Maybe, I mean, let's just pretend that maybe there's an easier way to do this and we've been going about it the wrong way, because I'm telling you that there's always a solution, there's always a way, and that there's way more money than we give, than we ever are aware of out there in the universe. All the problems already exist, all the solutions already exist. With every problem comes its own solution. I see your hand. Go ahead, Mike.
No, we just have been having a talk with Desiree in the chat, and I really feel like you could talk about how you read Secrets of the Millionaire Mind and how you basically lived it every day, because I think it would be, Desiree just bought it on Audible, which is awesome. And it's all about the wealth files, but I feel like you could really flesh this out even better.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Mike. Let's give Mike and Desiree a round of applause. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. I'm going to tell you why this book is a game changer, and I'm going to tell you how to use it. So this book, for me, got me from living homeless in a closet in my office to owning like millions of real estate and being, the man today. Like, there was a point where I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't live less than I'm capable of. I went through the divorce and I allowed myself to shrink and contract and get so small, and I was depressed. And then I started listening to Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And he said in the book, listen to this once a month until rich. And I said, okay, I'll do that. And then one day I came home and I was so disgusted with myself. I was so frustrated. I sat down in my little cot in this little closet that I jammed together, and I put a lock on it so nobody could get into it. So nobody knew that I was living in my office. And I remember just sitting down in the cot and saying, this is fucking temporary. Like, I will never live like this again. I swear to God, I'll do whatever it takes to never live like this again. And I was listening to that book. I just said, I'm just going to listen to this book again. And I listened to it, and he said, listen to it 12 times. So they listened to it one time per month. I said, fuck this. I'm going to listen to this every goddamn day until I'm rich. And I did that for 30 days. And then in that 30 days, I made my first $15,000 month. The month after, I made my first $21,000 month. The month after, I made my first $25,000 month. And then I moved to Vegas. and I wrote the 52 Wealth Principles. The point is that in 30 days, I went so hard on just learning these 17 principles, on just learning what it was that made a person successful, on understanding the financial blueprint, on doing the work to rewire my brain. So as soon as I made 100,000, I wouldn't lose it. Answer the camera if you could commit to listen to a 2-hour book every day for 30 days, if that's what it took. You'd be willing to do it if that's what it took. It worked for me. I will tell you that you can't listen to Harv and his mindset and not start like taking on some of that. You may start talking. He's harsh. If you listen to it, you'll hear some of my voice in his voice. I modeled him so intentionally. Some of the things that I say today are still like phrases I'm copying from listening to that book so intentionally. And he says it. If you want to, the difference between being broke and the difference of being rich is a mindset. It's 100% a mindset. It's a belief system. And I'm telling you, you deserve better. I'm telling you, I believe in you, that you can do more. If I could do it, you can do it. Because look, I got crooked teeth, right? I'm bald. I lost my hair. Right? I was skinny when I got rich. Now the muscles is something I built afterwards. I didn't have 400 books in my brain when I built wealth. I built this knowledge. I built the 400 books so I could do this ethically, so I could teach with a true understanding. I built multiple businesses, not because I love building businesses. I built multiple businesses because my partners came to me and said, I think we got a way to build millionaires. I think this is every one of my partners said, I think this is a solution to build more millionaires. That's how they fucking got me. Every single one, because you can ask Serena, sometimes I get stressed and I'm running all these businesses. And I just want to like take a day off, you know, like go read a book. But every single one of these businesses build millionaires. It's my overriding, like like it's my dream. It's what my intention is. Hence, if you're thankful that there's somebody out there building millionaires, automating the process for you, so you don't have, you know, take the questions out of the process. I wish it was there when I started. I truly do. And Alchemist Advantage, you know, the lending company, I wish it was there when I started, because it would have given me the opportunities I didn't have. You know, the Alchemist Connect, the CRM, man, I wish it was there when I started, because the CRMs I used were garbage. They didn't have any automations. I didn't know how to pull lists. I wish I had REI Skip when I started, but I didn't. I wish I had Alchemist Properties when I started. There was no off-market MLS when I started. Like, none of this existed when I started. So everything that we've built, every company that we partner with is geared towards building millionaires. Alchemist events, right? These live events, this Alchemist Nation Real Estate Investors Association never existed when I started. I wish it did. I wish it was just an easy place I could go and I could find a mentor, or I could find a partner, or I could find capital, or I could find somebody who's been through what I'm doing before, or just find accountability. Find somebody to be like, yo, let's do this together. Let's go to this event together. Let's network together. Let's buy this property together. Let's just look at this property together. Let's go to the auction together. Right? All of those things that we didn't have, that's what this community is about. You know, Alchemist Nation, when you're sitting there and you're like, fuck, like, I don't know if this is worth it, just throw on one of the videos, watch one of the coaches, go to the Alchemist Nation, watch one of the 65 coaches who are millionaires and listen to their story, how they did it, right? Listen to their strategy, their tips on how to become successful. Go and ask a question on one of the forums, right? These are all the things we didn't have when we started. I had bigger pockets. You know, bigger pockets didn't offer any coaching. It was a bunch of guys who, like, you didn't know if that person was smart or not. Like, it was a bunch of guys who were like, well, you know, you don't know if they're millionaires or not. Like, I'm trying to be a millionaire. Like, am I taking advice from a guy who's never bought a piece of property before? He's giving me landlord advice. Shit, you know. That's if you understand, there were challenges when we started. We're solving problems, but it's only getting better. It's only getting better. I'm bringing the right mentors in. I'm finding the right coaches. I'm finding the right speakers. We're finding the right hosts. Our community hosts. Let's give all our community hosts a big round of applause. They're running amazing events. I was at Gary Akers last night. What an amazing event. He had a great speaker. And Mike, to your point, Jerry, the speaker he does $16 million worth of development each year. He develops $16 million worth of real estate each year here in Florida. All high luxury, high end, like really, really nice properties. He said he just recently read Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, and he realized he has a financial blueprint. He's earned the same money the last 10 years. He wants to change that about himself. And this is an extremely successful guy who read Secrets of the Millionaire Mind for the first time. And he said, I read it again the second time. And he's like, I realized I have a blueprint that won't let me earn past a certain amount. He's like, I go on to earn more, and I find a way to lose it. He's like, even right now in my business, I'm looking at it, I'm saying, oh my God, I'm following a blueprint I've been following the last 10 years. And he's ready to change that. And he's ready to make that change. You know, so every one of us, nobody is like, we all got problems, myself included, but I'm thankful for a community that we can share our problems and share our solutions. And Mike's big questions he's been asking, his universal expansion questions. Why am I so happy? Or why am I so grateful? Why do I have so much money? Why do I passively earn insert whatever money you want per month? Hence, Karen, if you know, this is your year, 2023, we're speeding it up. We're doing a little faster than we've done in the past. We've got the right mindset. We got the right people. We got the big heart. We got the right plan. We got the tools this year. Every one of these technologies didn't exist last year. Alchemist Nation is literally, it was created in December of 2021. It did not exist prior to that. Alchemist Connect, its birthday is coming up in 3 months. It's only been out for a year. We're still improving it, but it's already working. We've already got 110 users out there who are actively building events, actively building communities, actively building their network, their tribe, raising capital. And we've got other features coming to help you become a millionaire. We're looking to automate the process. Right now, it takes about 3 to 5 years, but our goal internally is to get it down to 1 year. I don't know when we're going to hit that goal. I don't know how we're going to hit that goal, but I do ask myself now the question. I'm so thankful and grateful that we have already figured out how to build a millionaire within a single year of meeting us. Hands to the camera if you're committed to the cause, being part of the beta test. I mean, I'm making no guarantees until we nail it. But give yourselves one big round of applause. I appreciate and love your commitment to yourself, your community, to this tribe, to this vision. Cheers to your success. From a choice, I always work with the best. I'll see you next week.